Get out if you're not going to work, you good for nothing. Quit being a parasite and stop being a mother right now. I never knew they were the type of people who could say such awful things so casually. I just wanted to create a happy family filled with courage and happiness with Jack and Anne. Where did I go wrong? Understood. I realized I couldn't continue living with these two. I decided to divorce Jack and return to my previous life. But the moment I went back to my old life, it's unbelievable how they suddenly reached out, as if they had flipped a switch. Did they think I would just do as they said? If so, they really need to stop taking me for granted. I know all too well that it's not me they want, but my money. I am Aubrey Edwards. I used to work as a sales clerk for a local company, but now I'm a full-time homemaker. Having experienced financial struggles in my childhood when my family's business faltered, I'm admittedly a bit strict about money. My twin sister Amelia is the same way. Both of us are determined not to struggle with money like we did in our childhood, which I believe has significantly influenced our future. Besides my sales clerk job, I also have a business I run with Amelia, and it's doing fairly well. Between my outside job and the business with Amelia, my personal life had been neglected, but then a turning point came. It happened at the office where I worked as a sales clerk. One day, an insurance salesman came in. Normally, I wouldn't pay much attention as we were already covered, but I noticed the pen he was using. This was my first encounter with Jack, who would later become my husband. That pen, it's from that theme park, right? I really wanted it too, and went there once, but couldn't get it. The pen he had was a limited edition from a famous theme park, hard to come by. It had been a hot topic back then for its cuteness and limited availability, now traded at premium prices. I also went to the theme park back then eager to get that pen, but missed out on it in a lottery, a frustrating memory. Yes, my daughter wanted it, so I went along. Both she and I won the lottery. It's kind of funny, me using this big body of mine with this pen, isn't it? He said, laughing heartily. His laughter and the way he spoke were somehow memorable. Not at all. Oh, you have a daughter? Yes, I'm a single father. And you know, this is the first time I've had such an engaging conversation using this pen. Really? I'm a big fan of that character, and I got carried away, sorry, we're at work. No problem at all. Oh, by the way, my name is Jack Edwards. That's how we started talking because of one pen. He became in charge of my workplace, and since that day, he began showing up now and then. As we talked about trivial things, something big happened. I know it might seem a bit off for a guy with a child to say this, but I just had to share my feelings with you, Aubrey. Would you consider dating me? Me? As I've been talking with you, Aubrey, I've found myself wanting to know more about you. Sorry for being so sudden. No, it's fine. I enjoy talking with you, Jack. I'd be happy to. Then, Jack's face lit up with a bright smile. Great. I was worried you'd say no. No, not at all. Looking forward to it. From there, our relationship progressed smoothly. After dating for 5 years, it was naturally time to start thinking about marriage. Aubrey, would you marry me? Yes, I'd love to. I've been hoping to be with you forever, so. I'm just so happy. I couldn't hide my surprise and joy. He proposed at a lovely restaurant during Christmas. Having led a life distant from men before meeting Jack, it felt surreal that this was happening to me. But as I stood there, unable to hide my astonishment, Jack got serious. Aubrey, there's something I need to talk to you about before we get married. What? What's up all of a sudden? Seeing Jack's unusually serious face made me anxious. As you know, I have a daughter. If we're going to get married, I'd like you to be her mother. Me, a mother. I was 35 then. Being in the prime of my career and focused solely on work, I remember being taken aback when suddenly asked to become a mother. I never really felt maternal, and the idea of suddenly becoming someone's mother was confusing. Sorry for springing this on you. But I'm serious about our future. My daughter and is almost 10. She can handle most things in her life. Wait a minute, please. I knew you had a daughter, but me, suddenly becoming a mother? I mean, we've played together before, sure, but I also have my job. And said she'd be happy if you became her mother. And please, don't quit your job. Jack seemed desperate to convince me. Your life won't change much, Aubrey. I just want you to be there for and as her mother. Normally, being asked this before marriage might make someone reconsider. But I was wrong. His candidness in sharing all this with me must mean he's genuinely serious about our future together. I ended up convincing myself that this had to be the case. Look at me. You're this serious about our future, right? Of course. Jack's precious daughter is important to me too. I'll do whatever I can. Thank you so much. That's how we ended up getting married. I had met Anne a few times before, and she seemed like a typical, everyday girl. Anne? Yes, I'm Anne. Dad told me about you. You're Aubrey, right? Anne said with a smile, and I thought she was really cute. I also felt she was a very nice kid, and I had no problem living with her as a family. I'm going to marry your dad, Anne. I wanted to come and say hello. I'm so happy that someone as wonderful as you, Aubrey, is going to be my mom. I can't deny that this exchange made me feel really good. I was determined to be happy. With that resolve, I decided to marry Jack and become Anne's mother. However, it didn't take long for me to realize that this feeling was a mistake in the first place. The days after our marriage were happy. At first, I was worried about marrying someone with a child, but it turned out to be needless worry. And was a well-behaved child and didn't need much attention. She mostly took care of herself, so there wasn't much for me to do. Around that time, I was assigned to a project that could lead to a promotion. If my proposal was accepted in the upcoming competition, I might become a section manager, so I was a bit on edge. I was in the final push, thinking I might make it, when Anne said something unexpected. Aubrey, can I talk to you for a sec? What's up, Anne? Well, you might think it's selfish, but I really want a mom at home. Watching Anne glance at me apologetically, I felt like my heart was being squeezed. I might have been making her feel lonely without realizing it. It made me feel helpless. That's right. You're always alone when you come back home. I'm used to being alone, but sometimes I just feel this tightness in my chest. That's why I want a mom to be there. With a big promotion at stake, I had been working overtime until late at night. There were days I caught the last train home for 3 consecutive nights. Lately, I hadn't had a proper look at Jack or Anne. With Jack often away on business trips or working late, I realized I had been making Anne feel very lonely. And the fact that she called me Mom filled me with joy. Mom, you mean me? Who else? You're my mom, aren't you? Seeing Anne's bashful smile, I wanted to protect her happiness till the end. Sure, I liked my job, and a promotion would mean a higher salary. But work isn't everything in life. I seriously thought about what I truly wanted to protect. And then, I made a decision. I'm going to quit my job and be a full-time homemaker. I want to take care of our home and not let Anne feel lonely anymore. Thank you, I'm so happy. I was a bit worried about what Jack would think, but he surprisingly agreed. That's great for Anne. And don't worry, my earnings are enough to support the 3 of us. We'll be just fine. Hearing this and seeing Jack laugh heartily, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. However, the peaceful days didn't last long. I was getting used to life as a full-time homemaker when Jack came home one day, visibly irritated. Welcome back. What's wrong? Nothing. Saying so, he marched straight to the bedroom with heavy footsteps. Without even taking a bath, he stayed in the bedroom, not coming out. His irritated demeanor suggested something had happened at work. But since he was sulking alone, I had no idea what it was. The next evening at dinner, Jack finally opened up, revealing the reason for his frustration. I'm definitely better at my job, so why didn't they choose me? Did something happen at work? Listen to this. I'm more capable and have been with the company longer, so why wasn't I chosen? I was almost going to be promoted to department head. As he said this, he was banging his hands on the table. Summarizing Jack's story, there was a chance he or a colleague of his age might be promoted to department head. But in the end, his colleague got the position. That guy, he joined midway, leaves early without doing overtime, and yet, why him? I've been contributing to this company for decades since graduating college. It must be tough, but people do notice your work. You'll have another chance. However, my words seemed to irritate him even more. He glared at me with a furious expression. What do you know? Spouting such nonsense. Since that day, Jack started taking his anger out on me. One evening, I prepared dinner and waited for Jack, but he didn't come home for a long time. Worried because there was no contact, I approached him when he finally arrived. Welcome back. I was worried since it's late. What about dinner? It's late, so maybe tomorrow. What are you thinking? It's Friday, and I had a business dinner. Can't you figure that out? That's why you can't do a job properly. He sighed heavily and went to the bedroom. Whenever he's like this, he wants to be alone and locks the bedroom door. Since our bed is in the bedroom, I can't enter when Jack locks it. I used to ask him to unlock the door, but lately, I've given up. Jack must be struggling with his own issues. Trying to convince myself he needs space, I prepared to sleep on the sofa. As I started feeling tired from being affected by Jack's mood swings and sulkiness, I noticed a change in Ann too. Good morning, Ann. You stayed up late last night, are you okay? Stop it. Annoying first thing in the morning. She muttered under her breath and walked away. Wait, what about breakfast? She increasingly acted as if she couldn't hear me. I thought it was just a phase and watched over her, but her behavior became too much. I once tried to discuss it with Jack, but he didn't listen at all. Jack, have you noticed anything odd about Ann lately? Will you stop? That's your job as a mother. Neglecting your duties as a mother, that's just pathetic. I'm not neglecting anything. That's why I wanted to talk to you. I'm tired because, unlike you, I work. Don't drag me into unnecessary stuff. Saying this, he swiftly went to the bedroom. After discussions he finds inconvenient or troublesome, he usually locks the bedroom, leaving me feeling overwhelmed. I couldn't get any consultation, so I decided to give up. Lately, I can't seem to have a proper conversation with either Jack or Ann. Is this what family life is supposed to be like? I had no idea who to turn to or how to solve these painful feelings. Just when I was thinking a change was needed, and unusually initiated a conversation. Hey, I'm planning to hang out with some friends. Feeling happy that she spoke to me after a long time, I responded cheerfully. Oh, going out with friends? That's nice. Have fun. Then, and glared at me while slamming the table. I can't believe it. What's with the have fun? Are you mocking me? I was confused by her reaction, but it seemed to make her even angrier. How am I supposed to go out when I don't have any money? And is already in middle school. It's that age when even a little outing with friends tends to involve spending money. Oh, my apologies, I wasn't thinking. Sorry for being so oblivious. How much do you need? About $600. She said, tilting her head, sticking out her chin, and reaching out her hand. Since when had she become so brash? There are things you just don't do, even in a rebellious phase, especially to your parents. Although I had been smiling until then, I decided I couldn't overlook this behavior and spoke to Ann. Look, when you do that, it hurts me. And besides, $600 is a lot for a middle schooler to go out once, don't you think? I thought being clear would make Ann realize. But it seemed my approach backfired, making her even more irritated. What? Suddenly playing the card of a mother is so annoying. You don't understand anything, yet you have the nerve to say that. Unreal, she said and walked away. As she casually left the room, I noticed she took my wallet, which left me shocked and immobile. Just because we're family doesn't mean she can just take someone's wallet. What kind of mentality is that? Realizing this was beyond something I could handle alone, I decided to talk to Jack about it. Jack, I'm really concerned about him lately. Today, she just took my wallet and left the room because she wanted money to go out. Jack ignored me as if he hadn't heard a word. And she demanded $600 to go out. Isn't that too much for a middle schooler for just one outing? Then Jack glared at me. If Ann says she needs that much for going out, then that's probably what she needs. Just give it to her. But $600 is a lot of money. It's not something you can just hand over so easily. As we argued and came out of her room, apparently having heard everything. Are you still talking about that? She was approaching me with a smug, unpleasant grin. Well, you're just a homemaker with no money, right? All my friends' moms work, so they have money at home. We don't because of you. Being just a homemaker these days, what are you even thinking? Then, both of them pointed at me and said, useless people who don't work should get out. Stop being a parasitic mom right now. I felt something snap inside me upon hearing this. Understood. I realized there was no need to stay with people who treated me with such contempt. Then, Jack stood in front of me, waving a piece of paper. Hey, you're forgetting this. This is why clueless homemakers are no good. The paper was a divorce form. He approached me, waving the divorce papers. You should do things properly, it's common sense. Without hesitation, I put it in my bag. I'll file this at the city court myself. It's wrong to bother you when you're so busy. Let me handle this at least. Don't tell me you're planning to not file it and just keep it like that. Of course not. Besides, the submission of a divorce form will be notified you. There's no way for me to deceive. Jack seemed convinced by my words, glanced at me, and went into his room. For me, I couldn't bear the thought of considering someone who treated me so terribly as my husband. Driven by that thought, I left the house and immediately headed to the city court. Filing the divorce papers was straightforward and quick. I wished I had done it sooner, considering how easy it was. For now, I decided to move forward. I went straight to the neighboring town after filing the divorce papers. Amelia lived there, and she welcomed me immediately after hearing my situation. She handed me several bank cards. It's good that I kept these for emergencies. Indeed. It's scary to think what would have happened if I had brought these into my marriage with Jack. I had entrusted my bank cards to Amelia when I got married. I've been married once too, and I know people change when they see a lot of money. Money you work hard for is the only kind that has real value. That's right. The trouble you had in your previous marriage was over this money. Yes. That's why I didn't want you to go through the same thing, Aubrey. I'm glad I insisted on keeping it. Actually, we sisters had always been interested in money, working together to increase our wealth. We were fascinated by how to grow money efficiently and effectively. We tried every method to increase wealth, experimenting with various approaches. Besides asset management and investments, we also ventured into blog management, crowdsourcing, and entrepreneurship. After finishing my casual sales clerk job or during my free time as a homemaker, I enjoyed the thrill of watching my money grow. Before I knew it, my assets had exceeded $22 million, surprising even myself. But at the time of my marriage to Jack, what to do with the painstakingly accumulated $22 million became a source of worry. It's often said that people change when they see a lot of money. Even though Jack was a wonderful man, the thought of how he might change upon seeing this money was terrifying. At the time of our marriage, I had asked Amelia for a favor. The profit we made from our combined efforts was always supposed to be split equally between us, a firm promise since the time we started collaborating on investments and asset management. Since you left home after getting married, I've been managing your share. Please check the bank accounts. Thank you. It was a great decision to ask Amelia. If seeing big money, no, even if not from seeing big money, some people change just by getting married. That's why I said it, remember? It's better to keep quiet about having money for a while, even after getting married. I had kept secret the fact that I had been working on various projects with my twin sister and increasing our money. People might betray you in the end, but money never does. So true. I'm glad I took Amelia's advice. Amelia's advice turned out to be beneficial in ways I never imagined. Even though I was just working on small things at home as a homemaker, thanks to Amelia's efforts, we generated more profits than I expected. A year later, the amount increased even more, making me almost scream with joy. It took a long journey to increase it to this extent. Indeed. Thanks to all Amelia did. Oh, stop, you're making me blush. By the way, Aubrey, I have something to consult with you. Then, Amelia showed me an email. A financial magazine wants to feature us. It's a women's finance magazine, and they want to hear about our journey of increasing wealth through asset management and work-from-home projects. Oh, I sometimes read that magazine. It's amazing we've been featured in it, being amateurs. Really. I never imagined we'd be featured when we started working together. So, we're okay to accept, right? Of course. We later gave an interview, and our responses were published in the magazine. It was unbelievable to see us featured in a magazine section. For privacy, our faces were blurred and initials used, so it wasn't immediately obvious it was about us. A few weeks after the magazine went on sale, I started receiving dozens of calls from the same number. It should have been hard to recognize us just from that content alone. Counting the calls, there were 20 from Jack and Anne. Initially, I ignored them, but one day, out of curiosity, I answered, and Jack immediately started speaking in a pressing tone. Hey, you're the one in that magazine, aren't you, Aubrey? What are you talking about? Is this how you start a conversation with your ex-wife? I know, because we were married for years, or rather, because we truly loved each other, there are things you just understand. While I thought his abrupt call and absurd claims were typical of him, I decided to make things clear. Just so you know, we are strangers now since we're divorced. Please refrain from leaving dozens of calls, it's quite intimidating. Intimidating? That's an exaggeration. I just want to talk to my loving wife. Wife? We're divorced, remember? Jack yelled over the phone. Can't believe you took that joke seriously? I'm done dealing with someone like you who can't take a joke. Jack blurted out unbelievably. Marrying a failure like you and suffering mentally? I haven't forgotten that. I'll make sure you pay me a hefty alimony for that. I couldn't let this slide and decided to fight back. Alimony? To you? No way. Have you forgotten that it's you who should be paying alimony? What do you mean by that? You might think I haven't noticed, but I know all about it. You were having an affair with a temp worker at your office. I could picture him getting flustered over the phone. His voice was getting higher. What? An affair? What are you talking about? Stop making things up. I'm telling you now, I had you investigated before our divorce. You were out there having affairs while pretending to be on business trips. You've got some nerve living life so calmly as if nothing happened. What are you gonna do now, investigating me? Don't tell me you're talking about getting alimony from me. Jack kept on ranting like a yapping puppy. Don't worry, I didn't get this info to squeeze every last penny out of you. I have more meaningful uses for it. Meaningful? What are you planning to do with it? Who knows? Oh, I hear Anne's voice over the phone. Can I talk to her? I could hear Anne's lethargic voice on the other end. They must have thought I'd cave in and give them a chunk of money. I could overhear them saying, "It's her money, I deserve a share." I decided to talk to Anne. Long time no see, and sorry I couldn't give you much allowance back then. Don't worry about it, Mom. I was so happy to see you featured in that famous magazine. And, unlike Jack, was trying to sweet-talk me. It was typical of her, but I wasn't going to be swayed by her tactics. Seems like you've been promoting me all over. Of course. I'm proud of my mom. Really? So who was pretending to be my daughter, writing all sorts of nonsense on forums and social media? What are you talking about? And acted as if she knew nothing. No use playing dumb. I had everything checked by a lawyer. If you doubt me, I can read it out loud right here. I decided to read out some of the forum posts. You can't say these things seeing in my eyes, can you? Well, that's all those lies about me being greedy, involved in illegal money, being chased by dangerous people. You've got quite the imagination. And seemed flustered but continued. Well, you probably thought you wouldn't get caught using a pseudonym. You've got to own up to your actions. Who do you think you are, talking about responsibility? I'm a minor, and this is just a family dispute. Threatening me is pointless. Seeing she didn't get it, I thought it best to just hang up. Anyway, I'm entitled to some of your money. Just transfer it to my account. I'll handle the rest here. I was appalled by their complete lack of remorse over the phone, but that deep sense of disgust somehow made me feel liberated. I decided to take action without hesitation. Thinking this way, I decided to take action. I informed a mutual acquaintance of Jack, someone I met through work, about his numerous affairs. I also sent screenshots of the forum posts and had made to her school. I included a letter stating my intention to report to the police, so I'm sure some action will be taken. Word travels fast, and people who heard my story or read the letter were shocked, spreading the rumors even quicker. Thanks to these rumors, Jack's chances of advancement at his job were destroyed, as everyone at work became aware of his affairs. Anne's nearly confirmed recommendation for advanced studies was cancelled, leaving her in a state of panic. Known school-wide for her embarrassing forum posts, her friends quickly distanced themselves, leaving her to spend her days alone. One day at the supermarket, I ran into Jack and Anne. They looked nothing like they used to. Hey, you think you're better than us just because you're rich? What are you talking about? And why are you ambushing me here? You did it, didn't you? You're the one who spread the word about my affairs at work. And because of you, Anne's recommendation fell through. Their approach was full of the desperation of people who had nothing left to lose. It seemed they had been keeping tabs on my family's house. You've messed everything up. You should have just kept quiet and given us the money. I always wanted to have a good relationship with you two as a family, but you're the ones who ruined it. Don't blame others for your mistakes. You just keep talking back. Who do you think you are? While being astonished at their words, I responded. Considering everything that's happened, including today's incident, maybe I should talk to the police. There are limits to what can be tolerated, even with ex-family. And if this continues... Mentioning the police made Jack and Anne awkwardly look down. Do you really want to escalate this further and involve the police? Realizing they had no other options, they walked away. Since my divorce, I've been working with Amelia on managing our assets. In hindsight, I'm really glad I never told Jack about my total assets of $22 million. Just thinking about what might have happened if I had been completely honest with Jack and gives me a headache. Recently, Amelia and I have been excited about starting a new company. I've heard there are women who want to divorce but can't due to financial issues. I'm thinking of starting a school that can support women like them, helping them build skills from home. I hope to be a support for people struggling with family relationships, unable to take the first step,